it's nice to get this in here. Let me just see if I can get the light situation a little bit. This is my first time using this thing. I ordered it specifically for this hallway. Let's get a little bit more of it in.
I know we're intentionally got the lights turned off.
They're always off. They're always off here. Gee, this isn't helping very much at all.
Should we go live or what?
Can you see your, okay, great. And they're very shy about videos here, so they might not let us actually.
Okay, we're going now.
Okay. Forget this.
Are they letting us in?
Should we just go now?
I know a shot of you guys.
You got some light on there? I can't, my flash isn't going on.
This has to get in there too.
Oh, it isn't? I'm sorry. See? Okay.
And we're gonna get some shots outside after this too, because I think it's still really hard to see the size of the group. There you go. And they're gonna come out of there, so there's where that people are actually.
The Grim Reaper is outside. Okay. Thank God.
Yeah, really.
Not got this.
Maybe a second flash.
Okay, we'll.
Okay.
Swing around so that they can see.
Anybody home?
I don't see anyone in there. They're hiding underneath the desk.
Really, please not come. Someone's coming. Okay, so who are the talkers? Talkers, get up there.
Yeah, talkers up.
I, or Tom Morino's constituents would like
I
to
don't
come.
consent to being recorded or anything. Okay.
Can we come in and voice our concerns about the food, of the healthcare? act
Yeah,
that-
as long as the cameras go off, I'm not consenting to being recorded.
Okay.
Okay. Thank you.
Can we come in?
Who is that man that's not consenting to be recorded?
Yeah, we don't know.
Is he an aide
Yes.
to the congressman?
Yes.
So the aide of the congressman won't speak on camera?
No.
Okay.
Okay. Interesting to know.
It's legal
Not-
to
but
film.
not
By the
shocking.
way. I've looked it up. You can film in there.
Okay.
And he didn't even offer to invite anybody in
No.
without cameras, correct?
Right.
Right.
I would have stayed out here if he would have offered to invite one of you in.
Yeah, let's see if he will.
Yeah, we don't know we'll have cameras.
No.
I shall turn that.
Put the camera down.
Reggie, if they don't let
Okay,
the
so
cameras in, should we
Tom
film the
is
dialogue
not-
here?
Letting us.
We can film, it's too dark out here, we can film it.
I know Tom Cahill pretty well, I've met him like a bunch of times, let me show my face and see if he'll
Okay.
open it for me.
Yes.
He went into that room to
Yeah.
hide.
Is he gonna call the cops?
Oh, I hope so.
It's not our time yet. We're too young.
Maybe call out over here and he could hear you.
Let's go outside and
I'm
look.
gonna go out and look in the window, can you call? You should say, Kathy, could you call?
I don't have a phone.
Better not smile.
I have a phone.
I didn't think they would.
I have mine in my car.
You could call and say, hello, we're out here, we have something to ask you, please open the door.
He should, he should have said at least that he would speak to us without the cameras or not.
Right.
Implied that, that's why
He
I
implied it.
don't.
And then he
Right
walked
away.
away, that's just.
So we're gonna do the dialogue right here or what?
So this is Tom Morino's office in Hamlin, Pennsylvania. One of his 4 offices that he has. He's the 10th congressional district representative. He's sadly enough in my district. And this is one of many times various groups of citizens and activists have tried to have a conversation with Tom Morino. He's called No Show Morino. He has sent aides out like you just saw before, but usually it's interactions like that. Either they won't talk or say won't talk on camera.
Where, over here?
This would be a good place, right in front of the door.
Activists here, I know at least one group is Action Now NEPA, that's Northeast Pennsylvania, and other concerned citizens that came out today. It's a very rural area, so hence the small turnout, but I wanted to highlight this. Not only is it my district, this is my, these are my people where I've been living the last little while, but the time is now to raise your concerns in your community. With everything going on in the Congress and Senate, healthcare, DOD Frank possibly being repealed, the time is now to put pressure on your local politicians. So I really wanted to show this today, to show that people are trying to get their voices heard, and you can do it too.
Even the Grim Reapers protesting.
There's no wrong way to get your voice heard in action like this. It's got to start somewhere.
Everybody does their own thing.
Should we lay down?
I think it's better to do it here. This is too heavy.
Sorry about the poor connection. If you are able to hear me.
I can get down by getting.
Again, we're in rural Pennsylvania here, so I'm surprised I got any bars of LTE at all. And I'm testing out streaming on YouTube on the actual YouTube app today. Now that they've given me that opportunity. It's got pros and cons, we'll see. I can at least see the chat on it, but I couldn't set up an event ahead of time. Still playing around with it. But it's a stable app, at least. It's very much like the Facebook Live interface and stability. But I think you have to have a certain number of subscribers before you can live stream right off their app. A lot of the third-party apps don't work that well. All right, back to the action.
That's true. There's a parking lot though.
So the people here forming a die-in, since Morino's not meeting with them, to show the people at the office here and around the world the urgency, why they came out here with our healthcare system possibly in worse crisis than it was by just dismantling the whole thing rather than trying to fix it. And more recently, even DOD Frank, banking protections, Morino voted to repeal, and falsely claiming that it's hurting small banks, and that's just not the case from where we live. They've been expanded since the 2008 crisis, since people lost faith in big banks. So
It was a good life.
we can't go backwards.
Great.
This reminds me of when I was a teenager around 30.
Yeah, that's good, doesn't it? Oops. Yeah, right. Yeah.
Do you know if you can take still shots in Facebook Live, like while it's running?
Not the last time I used it, but
Yeah, I don't know how to do that. I don't want to like.
you can. What do you got? An iPhone?
I've got an iPhone 7.
You can
yeah.
take a
This is really making
screen
it sad.
cap while you're live.
Like
You know how
this?
to- yeah.
Like a normal.
Yep.
Okay.
Should be able to do that. I know I've done that before.
That
Oh,
side.
damn.
That's good.
Unless you miss it and then you shut it off.
Do we
Okay,
know which
you can
local
resurrect now.
newspapers have
What was that?
Putting letters.
Anyone need an arm?
Right now it's live streaming onto our Facebook page. But I can certainly.
Slip it underneath. Both of you.
I think I'm good now.
So while I've got my audience to hear, you want to tell us what this action was about today?
This is about expressing to our congressman what the Trump Care bill that he voted for, which he did not read, is going to affect all of us. It's going to make us die sooner than later, because it's not about a health care plan. It's about giving a tax break to the rich and making us poor people die sooner. That's basically the effect of this bill that he passed.
Now, when you say Tom Morino voted on it without reading it,
Yes.
can you elaborate on that?
That's because when it was given to the House of Representatives to pass, to vote, nobody has read it. Nobody were given the opportunity to read this before they voted it. Usually there's a 48-hour period. They were not given this 48-hour period to read. It was just given to them to vote blind. That's why you should not vote on something that you haven't read, especially when it's so bad.
Now, didn't he also just vote on a bill to repeal Dodd-Frank?
Yes, he did.
As well.
That was all. While we were looking at the ex-FBI director's testimony, that same day, the House of Representatives voted to repeal Dodd-Frank, which would protect us consumers from unfair practices, and which is going to make us liable for banks when they fail. Us taxpayers will have to pay to bail them out again.
And I mean, wouldn't you agree if they repealed Dodd-Frank, we could hit a worse crisis than we did in 2008?
Absolutely. But the worst thing is, we're going to be holding the bag again. Us taxpayers will have to bail them out again.
Yeah, they'll be gambling with no liability once again.
Right.
We can't.
While they gamble away our money.
And I also heard he was claiming in their statistics that it's actually hurting the small banks, and that's why they want to repeal Dodd-Frank. Where's he getting those statistics from?
They can say anything. It's like the Trump Health Care Act they passed. They say everything is going to be cheaper, everybody's going to be covered. They can say all of these things which are not true. But they say it because they want people to believe it. But it's not true. Because weeks after they passed this, the budget office, Congressional Budget Office, came out with a rating, and it said that all they said is not true.
Well, it's good to know. Thank you very much for talking with me.
Could I just say a few words
Sure.
on the availability of Congressman Morino? This is my 5th time being here. I drive from 48 minutes away. A lot of these people have driven from an hour away. Now, the first time we came, they let us in. The aides let us in. We have not had a meeting with Tom Morino. We have requested a meeting officially from both this office and the DC office on multiple occasions. We've been given the runaround, basically, is what's happened. And we've asked for a town hall with him. We've asked for him to listen to us. And they don't even let us into the office in the last few times I've been here. And we've told them our health concerns in the hallway. And we've had a lot of people tell stories about their children and their family and their own personal battles with cancer, with diabetes. And they won't let us in. And his aide here, Tom Cahill, will be like reading his text messages while we're trying to get an ear. We just want our concerns to be conveyed to the congressman, and we feel like he is not listening to us.
Thank you. Thank you for the context there.
What's going to happen? They're going to throw her on the street with the little girl? It's not a good situation, and it doesn't have to be. We can't stand for this, and we shouldn't. So.
Thank you.
And we won't.
And another thing is with the opioid problem that there is in the country right now and in Pennsylvania.
Yeah, that's a big one.
Congressman Moreno is being considered as the drug lord, and this is going to totally gut any kind of help for people who are under opioid addictions, and I just don't know how he can justify that.
Wasn't he rejected?
Yes, he was.
Yeah, right.
This lady brings up a good point. This healthcare act, if passed, will deeply impact people with addictions to pills, addictions to heroin in the area, and it's a big problem
Cut
in
all
Pennsylvania
the
here.
to the opioid situation.
And that's the opposite of what's needed right now. So I mean, at the last job I had in town in Montrose, countless people who had told stories of people dying of heroin addiction, which started off with pain pills. You know, it's a long, and we need to admit in this country that it stems from decades back of the pharmaceutical companies lying to us saying they weren't addictive, and throwing things at the doctors to get them to throw these pills
they
at
got
us.
all of us hooked on their pills.
And American drugs cost half as much in Canada. You drive to Montreal, you pay half as much, right? I mean, and they're manufactured by our companies, right?
The highest in
Yeah.
the world for drug.
It's outrageous.
Yeah, and we're not talking about luxury illnesses that aren't going to be covered. We're talking about basic care. I don't understand what government is supposed to be doing if it isn't caring for its people. Well,
Because they don't care.
I understand.
And we're paying taxes. And what are they
Right.
doing with our
Well, their
taxpayer
health care
money?
is wonderful.
Well,
What do
I
they
think
care?
we should have
we should
whatever
have
they
their
have.
health
There's
care.
the
Give
simple
us your
solution.
health
If they
Yes,
think their
give us
health
your
care is
health
good,
care.
they should make that available to all of us.
Yes.
And then
it's
we
fair.
continue.
Or
to
they
pay
should take
for
the
it.
health care that they give to us as
Exactly.
their health
Either
care. One or
way,
the other.
either
Yeah.
Well,
way.
it's communist for us, but it's like, you know, okay for them, right? Yeah.
So thank you all for coming. We're going to keep doing these group things because on our own, each county is so small in Northeast PA, but together we're a lot stronger. So every now and then we're all going to get together in Northeast PA and do things like this together. And I hope you convince all your friends to come and join us.
And you'll
do
continue
something
to
at-
send us emails.
Absolutely.
Because,
every Monday?
Well, I don't know if they'll come here every Monday. Because pretty soon they won't even show up for work on Monday.
There's only one guy there today.
Yeah. But there are other ways, you know, keep calling his office, faxing his office.
Letters to
Because
the editor.
the plan now is for the Senate to pass by July 4th, the Senate version. And they're going to send it back to the House immediately so that they can pass it right away. Especially over the weekend when we're on holiday, nobody's paying attention because they want to sneak it by.
Like DOD Frank repeal.
Right.
Yeah,
So you have to be very,
Yeah.
read your emails because I'm sure all of you have group, your organization send out alerts. Keep alert because they're going to sneak things past us.
And Ava made a good point yesterday. The phone calls that are going to the senators and the representatives are at pre-Trump levels now. People are not calling as they had been the past few months, so we really need to make more phone calls and let our...
And tell the story of Medicaid and the cuts to Medicaid, because our Senator Pat Toomey has been particularly involved in making extended cutbacks to Medicaid beyond what was in the AHCA from the House. So he's calling for more cuts to Medicaid. And of course, what a lot of people don't know about Medicaid and how that helps us is that Medicaid is helpful for people with children with childhood illnesses like type 1 diabetes, and it's helpful to pay for care for autistic children in classrooms, for not care but for extra speech therapy, things like that, people that need extra therapy in classroom. It's also very helpful for older people in nursing homes.
A lot of the rural nursing homes are funded by Medicaid.
Medicaid.
If they take that away,
then that whole industry is going to be
all
destroyed.
our parents are
because
going
nobody
to
can
have
afford
no
to be
access
there
to
and pay
health,
for that.
long-term care.
You know what also irritates me? I was just, this is on a slightly different level. Why are these people not speaking to us? I mean, they're not even, I know that, but the whole point of a representational government is to be able to do this, and they are denying us
Our taxes
rights.
pay the rent.
Yes.
Our taxes pay their salary.
I don't get it.
And
They don't want to talk to us
It's like we're in a
because they don't
Well, actually,
represent
we went
us.
to the door.
They don't want to represent us.
yeah, they
I
don't know.
And it started to be,
And all these other issues. Mediators in 50s and 65 frequently lose their jobs. They have difficulty getting health insurance, and they're going to raise the premiums for people that age. These are people who often put their lives back together by taking multiple jobs, 3 and 4 different jobs. I know people in that situation. And the only way they can make a living is with these part-time jobs, which do not pay health care benefits. And then they go to buy it on the exchanges. If they can't buy it on the exchanges and the prices go up by 5 times, they won't be able to afford health care. They are in the age group, which age 50 is almost a pre-existing condition. People start to have high blood pressure, they escapees. A lot of things happen that they need in preventive care. They will be unable to get health care if they don't have a regular corporate job under the proposed AHCA. And they are not being talked about. That's a very important point.
And corporations, if the premiums keep going up,
I know
they'll
many
just say,
people
I'm not doing it anymore.
who are in that situation.
And
who have said
what-
to me, what will I do if it goes away?
And what are the Republicans hiding right now when they're not even going to let there be a debate about this bill? What are they afraid of? What are they keeping from us?
Bad news.
The truth?
Yes.
Yeah. Well, that's not democracy.
If you have 23 million people going without health care, you're also going to have several 100,000 healthcare workers out of a job.
Yeah.
And it's the biggest industry in the country.
Yep.
Especially in this
It
area.
won't be,
Wow.
yeah.
There will be more unemployed healthcare workers than poll workers in Kentucky.
Wow.
This is just a representational die-in, but there'll be a real die-in once they pass the AHCA.
Yep. People actually do die
I
when
lost
they
the
don't
signal,
have
but I'm
health
shooting
care.
a video I'll post
Yes.
it.
Yeah, it's not just a little
Yeah.
metaphor.
I don't care what that Republican congressman said. People really do die when they don't have health care.
Reggie, should we try to get him one more time, or no? Okay.
I tried to knock on the door several times
Oh, you
again.
You did?
Yes, and
They're not
nothing.
coming to the door?
No. And the
If,
phone?
when you go back, go to the head of your organization, because we're in touch with all of them. Because we send out a weekly email with action
Yes.
and issues. So we'd love for you to get this weekly email, because then every week there's a new war to fight.
Isn't there something Thursday on healthcare in Kingston?
That is not part of, that's probably further west from us. We're with Delaware Valley Democratic. Yeah. But we're in touch with all the resistance groups from Scranton, Stroudsburg, Monroe County, Pike County, Wayne County.
My group is in Port Jervis, so we're
We
in
even got
tri-state.
Port Jervis here.
Yeah. Yeah, we're trying to get Orange County
Pike
officials
County,
elected.
Milford, Pike.
Yeah.
So if you don't have,
yeah, I
I wish
did
I had
actually, yeah,
brought in a sign-in sheet, but keep in touch. Contact the head of your organizations and ask them to give me, they all know me, Reggie, from Delaware Valley, give me your email. We'll put you on the list, weekly emails for things to fight on.
Get in touch with Barbara.
Great,
Yeah.
that would be great. Thank you, everybody, for
Thank you,
coming.
Thank you, Reggie.
I'm glad you came live again.
We'll see you soon, hopefully.
Were you streaming this live?
I lost the signal. Now I'm just doing a video.
Who has video that we can send to our newspapers or whatever?
This guy.
This guy.
And I have a little.
And you have
Becky probably has a little.
Yeah.
And so
I was live streaming the first part. I lost the signal, so I just do a regular video and I'm going to post this. Okay. You guys are welcome to join the group. We're a tri-state group.
All right. Thanks for everyone who did tune in today, or if you're watching this later and recorded. It was nice to be able to test out streaming on YouTube's actual app now that they let me do it. It's great. I can see the comments. At least it doesn't crash like some of the third-party apps. But it doesn't. I couldn't figure out how to schedule or hook up with an already established event. Otherwise, it works pretty great. So it's good to get out. Sorry, I've been away for the last few months. I've been taking a break, much needed, physical and mental. But this was a good, tiny little action to get me back into it. Also, I found this rather important with everything going on in the country right now. Just to let people know that people are trying to do something, even in rural areas like this where there's really things are really spread out. And it's ridiculous when the congressman he won't even meet with his constituents, won't hear their arguments. I mean, a lot of these bills, the healthcare, the DOD Frank repeal, are gonna hurt the Republicans, which is it's a majority Republican district. It's gonna hurt them. I mean, I know countless people with stories of heroin addiction, and overdose and pills, and this healthcare bill. It's going to devastate the funding for that, and it might. I mean, things like the local hospital might get shut down once the Medicaid restrictions get put in place. So this is very important for people around here. So I wanted to show you, even if it didn't strike the attention of thousands today, that's okay. Every viewer counts. Every idea to get out there counts. I also want to take this time before I go down just to encourage more dialogue in this country right now. And this comes from a person who's hard for me sometimes, but pointing fingers at everybody and calling everybody that's another American an enemy is not going to get us anywhere. I mean, certain people deserve it, Nazis. But just because somebody voted for Trump that's in your family or you work with doesn't mean you need to discount their opinions completely, because they're just as human before the election as you were. They're just as much of a citizen of this country as you are. I've really been encouraging a lot of the liberals in this area, if they want to make headway, if you want them to hear you out, hear them out. And that can be hard to do. But we need to encourage more dialogue in this country if we're going to get anywhere. Otherwise, we're all really fucked. Not going to be easy. But, you know, and quit dismissing something as people are stupid, people are crazy. There's a reason why people voted for Trump. There's a reason why people have the beliefs they do. And if you don't want to understand it, we're never going to fix it. We got to understand each other to come up with any type of compromise that we're going to be able to live with. All right, that's my rant. It's just been something that's bugging me for a while, especially here with a lot of things going on. I guess since I do have a few minutes, there was a shooting in this area the other day. A kid at work shot up a couple coworkers and shot himself. And like all these shootings, it's a very complex issue, and so many people just brush it off as they're crazy and fuck that, and both the liberals and the conservatives have the complete wrong idea to solve the problem. More guns or less guns, that's not the issue here. It's the mental health crisis in this nation. This kid, his suicide note was basically, I feel like I'm a woman trapped in a man's body my whole life, and he decided not to just kill himself, but take out his aggression on other people. And I'm not trying to make that act justified at all, but if just trying to understand what led up to his life, what happened in his life that led up to that, can help us prevent things like that in the future with other people, can help us better our mental health industry, can help us destigmatize it. Because that's the problem in this area. It's so stigmatized, and sexuality is so repressed. It could, you know, mix a heaping dose of mental illness, you're going to get something like that. And again, I'm not justifying the act, but we need to look at these things and examine them and not just dismiss everyone as crazy so we can easily ignore it, because these are hard issues to think about. So after that rant, again, it's good to be back. Now that YouTube lets me stream their app, I should be streaming more on here, because a lot of you guys don't like Facebook and vice versa. So this is why my Twitter audience, hopefully you can watch here on YouTube, now that I've got a stable app. So, all right. I don't know what I'll be doing next. This is just getting my feet wet again. So, Revolutionary Z here, guys. John Ziegler. I will see you guys later.